Hey, you're listening to Solo in Seattle, the podcast where we talk about real life, real love, and real lessons from the Emerald City. I'm your host, Amanda, a seasoned soloist navigating dating, friendship, mental health, sobriety, and everything in between. Whether you're living alone by choice or circumstance, newly single, healing from a friendship breakup, or finding your footing in sobriety, this space is for you. So pour yourself something cozy, sparkling water counts, and let's get into it. Today we are talking to my buddy, Jess. Hey girl, hey.
Hi, my name's Jess. I'm so excited
Hi,
to
Jess.
yeah, my dating
Yeah, so
life, I keep pretty busy.
yeah. So thank you so much for carving out time, to come and hang out with me on my podcast. I love that you made space for me. And this is a really special episode just because we are going to shine some spotlight on you today and your sobriety journey and just what it's like to also be living in this great city being solo. I I don't know, I like being solo. I mean, I like my space,
Yeah, I've
you
kinda
know.
learned to adapt to that, more recently, especially since I just moved out on my own into my own place the last, few weeks. It's definitely been surprising.
How is it like sitting in silence and not having, you know, anyone there with you?
It's sometimes a battle in my head. I mean, I'm definitely trying to work on aloneness because I spent most of my life feeling like I always needed to be around people. And I didn't like the loneliness, the quietness, because then I'd have a lot of dark thoughts come to my mind. I'm definitely, a lot more fortunate and it's a lot easier for me the last couple years because I have a medical alert service dog named Liam. He's a border collie English Shepherd and he's my whole world. And for me being alone, Liam's always with me, but human wise, I'm alone. And there's still a lot of quietness in that. And believe me, like that can still be a struggle, but I'm really lucky to have Liam because when I start to, disassociate or zone out, or I start to get to a mentally bad spot, he'll actually disrupt it by alerting
Wow,
me. He'll poke me, or he'll jump on me or paw me. Um, so he actually kind of helps divert that loneliness that
that's
I
really
can sink
cool.
into. So that definitely helps, but at the same time, I feel like it's been a positive challenge for me to
Okay.
see what I can handle, what I'm capable of.
Yeah. And so that kind of brings me to we met a couple of months ago and I had the opportunity to listen to you public speak and share your story at an event through the Beauty Booth Seattle and her movement. And I really enjoyed the strength in your character that you were able to share so much raw information and you did it in such a beautiful way. And, I wanted to invite you on the podcast to kind of share your journey and to talk about it and bring awareness around it. And I've met Liam multiple times, and
Mhm.
he's such a good service animal. And I love that he is so in tune with everything that you have going on and kind of brings you that peace because it's so important.
Yeah, yeah,
And
definitely. I've gone through a lot this past year. 2024 was one of the darkest years of my life. I really struggled with depression, aloneness. I was in a relationship for a really long time that ended very badly, and that was a struggle. And I didn't feel like I had anybody to talk to, and I hit a rock bottom. And that was really hard for me. And in September of 2024, I overdosed on medication to the point that my heart stopped and I died.
wow,
Um, I am someone that for a very long time has struggled uh, with bipolar disorder. And I definitely was going through a manic depressive episode at that time. I was living with my aunt and uncle at the time, and they didn't really know the capability of what I needed. I didn't even know the capability of what I needed, and I was in a very bad mental space. I was home alone when it happened, and when my uncle found me, He resuscitated me, and when they got to the hospital, they put 2 and 2 together and realized that, I was dead for more than a half hour,
Oh my goodness.
and I lived, and I had no deficits, and they said it was a miracle, and I was angry. I was so angry to be alive, to be living, to still be here. I didn't understand why me, um and it was a very long journey for me moving forward. I was flown from Oregon, where I was at the time with my aunt and uncle, back to Washington State to a rehab facility in Seattle called North Point. And I was in there for 10 weeks in a program. And that was extremely humbling. It was interesting because I can laugh about it now, but I hated being in there. I hated every
Yeah.
single second of it, but the second that I got out, and this was November, end of November, beginning of December, all I wanted to do was go back in. I was
Yeah.
terrified
That
of
was was it
work.
like a safe place? That was your safety net almost?
Yeah, I didn't realize it till I was out. I mean, when I was in there, I hated everything about it. I hated the nurses, I hated group therapy, I hated, having to journal, having all this stuff you had to do, like, everything you can think of, like, a bad rehab therapy, like, facility in a movie, it's true.
Yeah.
Like
For sure. So so speaking of you coming back to Seattle, so you stayed, it seems like. So what surprised you most about living alone for the first time here in the
I
city?
was terrified to live on my own and manage my own medication because I didn't think I had self-control. Because I abused drugs once, I was scared that I was gonna be in this studio alone and have a sad moment, and instead of trying to do something positive, just down a bottle of pills. And what surprised me the most about living on my own is my own strength to in those moments that I've already had it happen the last few weeks where I feel down or anxious or depressed or sad. I find coping tools that I've learned from rehab.
Good.
So
That's good. I mean, that's huge. I think that you carried forward a lot that you learned, right? Since, being um in the facility, they even though you hated it, it sounds like you still carried forward tools
yeah,
that
I
you're
mean,
able to.
at the time, I didn't realize it because I was in the heat of it all and I was still trying to figure
Yeah.
my own bipolar and, it takes a while. It can take up to 2 months for your body to adapt to bipolar medication, so I was still spiraling.
Mm.
I couldn't see what is the phrase? I couldn't see the forest through the trees.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
right. So,
yeah.
do you ever feel lonely or do you kinda lead into your solitude now?
Yeah, I do feel lonely at times, romantically lonely. I feel that at times, like, this is the longest I've ever been single, probably my entire life, because I very much was the type of person where I went from, like, one relationship to the next. So I am
Mm,
not joking that I've been single for 9 months now. I have never done that my entire life. Which is very
that's huge.
interesting. Yeah. So, yes, I do feel lonely at times, but I am very fortunate that I have Liam because in those moments that I feel lonely, the thing that helps me the most is just snuggling with him, petting him, like,
Yeah.
playing with him.
Yeah. So that kinda creates your sense of comfort or your peace or routine when you're by yourself, it sounds like then.
Yes. He is my number 1 tool, I guess you could say, that I use for comfort and peace. I also try to listen to meditational music, so like lo-fi music or like yogi music,
Mhm.
you could say. And I also I use the Calm app a lot and listen
Oh,
to
yeah.
um, meditations. So I have a
Good.
membership with them, and I do that a lot. Like if I'm feeling high anxiety or if I'm feeling manic, I'll do like a 10-minute meditation on the Calm app. Usually by Jay Shetty. He's one of my favorites.
Okay. So what's one thing that you've discovered about yourself through solo living?
Really what I'm capable of and how proud I am that I've gotten to this point. I mean, if you asked me 9 months ago, if I'd be where I am right now, I'd tell you hell no, because 9 months ago, I killed myself, bluntly. I never thought I would be to this point working 4 wonderful jobs, thriving, happy, busy, have met so many wonderful friends. I'm living on my own. I'm healthy, I'm fit. Like, I'm extremely proud of myself for,
I'm proud of you too, girl. Like, I mean, I've just known you in a few short months, you know what I'm saying? And like,
yeah.
your ability to show up and show out and share your story and bring Liam around and just being so proud to be present. Like, you've moved mountains, and just from what you've shared, in today's podcast, as well as what you shared in a room full of strangers a couple months ago, you really are doing so well for yourself and thriving by yourself. And here is an attestament to that, right? You're in your own spot now and you're managing it. And so, what are like your favorite solo date spots or personal rituals? I know you kind of share the meditation and I know you're really into yoga.
Something I literally have done probably almost every single day the last 3 weeks living here is walking to Green Lake and walking around Green Lake. I love doing that. I mean, I'm only like
Nice.
2 blocks away. I've been really lucky because the last 3 weeks, the weather has been so nice. I'm pretty sure I've done it every day. It's just so beautiful, and usually, like, I play some type of podcast, and I'll listen to, like, an hour and a half podcast because usually I can do the loop in an hour and a half. So
Mhm.
that's kinda become, like, a ritual. Another one is, one of my favorite spots to go because it's literally a block away is Pacha Collective. It's the cutest coffee shop ever that
Oh, is that the one with the van in there?
Yep, and I usually
Yeah.
go at a time that it's quiet, so I always sit inside the van, and they know me and
Cute.
they know Liam. That I literally was just there a couple hours ago. I love that place. It's just so
Oh
peaceful.
my gosh. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to check it out, but I see some of my, like, influencer buddies,
Oh,
popping
it's so
over and
cute.
doing content.
Yeah, their coffee's good, their juice is good, they have the best avocado toast, and I'm gluten-free. They have really
Mm.
good gluten-free bread that they make in-house.
I love that. I love a good avocado toast. Oh my gosh. But I really love, like, the everything bagel seasoning on it. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, I
That's,
like
like,
the
my
chip dress.
favorite or yeah. So let's talk about love, situationships, and dating in a city that's known for ghosting
No.
and so-called Seattle freeze. Like, I started no, like, I don't actually, like, go on dates, right? Um, I go out, as we know. You know? Like, I'm out, like, to 5 out of 7 days a week, you know? Um, but I just don't God, like, guys are so gross to me, like, I just am like, they're just so annoying, like, I've met, a couple of guys over the couple past months and, like, I invite them out and to entertain me, and then I just get annoyed with them, and then, it's just kind of like, "Oh, let me take you out on a date." I'm like, "For what?" Like, "I don't wanna sit with you." You know? I'd rather sit with my girlfriends, and actually,
Yeah.
like, make plans and enjoy life, like, why do I wanna sit with your stupid ass, you know? So so that's my experience. What's your experience been like dating in Seattle?
Uh, well, for somebody that was in a relationship for a very long time and then, never went on dating apps until now, and then decided to go on dating apps living in Seattle. Wow. That was a lot all at once and very overwhelming. When I first moved to Seattle and started wanted to try to, like, dip my toes in the pond, it was like a wave got hit with me, when I went on to dating apps with the amount of messages that I got and swipes I got, and some being very, like, corny, like, responses and comments, others being really disgusting, some being very stupid, and then there's, like, that 1%, that
Ugh.
little grain of rice of the actual good ones. Um, if I hear one more time,
Mm-mm.
"Is your dog looking for a dog dad?" I'm gonna throw my phone at the wall.
Gross.
That is the
Gross.
one I hear the most.
I
So
literally hate I already hate all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been interesting, Overwhelming. I started out with Bumble, then I got Hinge. I think I would be absolutely terrified to do Tinder, and I probably would delete it within like 10 minutes because it would just scare the shit out of me. Bumble's been
Yeah,
safer. Hinge, I have this thing with my best friend where if it's a really funny response, I screenshot it and I've built an album on my phone of my favorite
funny.
responses. Like, they're disgusting, but they're, like, freaking hilarious.
Yeah. Oh my
Uh,
god. I had one
yeah.
of those dating apps. I don't remember which one it was. Um, but I got on there and like I got off immediately because I was like, there's no way that any of these men could ever think they had access to me.
Um, yeah, I think,
Like, are you fucking serious right now? Like the pool that connected me, I was like, no, hell no, absolutely not. I'd rather die. Thank you. Mm-mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely been enlightening. I mean, there's been a few good ones, and then there's just been you kinda gotta, like, find the needle in the haystack.
Yeah, I'd rather just be adjacent to it. Yeah, thank you. Do you think the dating scene is harder when you're sober?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so my way to scare off the creepy ones is telling them that I have bipolar disorder and I'm an alcoholic. And usually that gets them running for the hills immediately.
Oh shit.
If they
Okay.
won't leave me alone. So it can be a blessing, but it also can be a curse because there'll be some guys that like I'm actually kind of grooving with. And then
Yeah.
I'll bring up, like, that I'm sober, and they get, like, a little weird, but it's usually when I, at some point, have to bring up the BD that usually they just run for the hills because, unfortunately, there's this whole stereotype around bipolar disorder that, like, "We're crazy, like, we're gonna go psycho on your ass." So,
Mm.
usually when I have to tell people that, guys, yeah, they run for the hills, and, that's why I laugh because it's, like, double-edged sword. I use it on the ones that, like, won't leave me alone, won't get me the hint, and
For
usually
sure.
not. But there's been, some guys I've talked to where I've, like, kinda connected with them, and then I finally have the courage to open up and mention that, because I usually
Mm.
don't right off the bat. I wait a little bit, and they ghost me,
Yeah.
which
So
has sucked.
so where do you meet these guys outside of the apps? Do you ever meet anybody in like real life or friends of friends?
Only met, all these guys through Bumble and through Hinge.
Okay.
And I do try to, like, filter on the apps, the audience. So I'm kinda interesting. I'll only date guys between 30 to 35. I'm 29 myself, like, the whole thing. When a guy's, like, 32, like, his brain's fully developed. Like, I just we need a guy
Yeah,
that
all
knows
right.
how to function.
No, seriously.
And then I try to filter
Yeah.
it that not necessarily they're sober like me, but, like, they don't drink that often. But
Yeah.
shockingly, that still, scares them off.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I am 40, I'll be 42 next month, and I keep attracting like young 30s and
They're like, "No."
and some late 20s.
Oh.
And I'm just like, do you guys have like mommy issues?
Yeah, you're
Like,
like, "I'm not trying to be the cougar over here."
yeah, I'm like, I just don't understand what the allure is, and I just don't get it. I don't want it, and I mean, I'm just so disgusted.
Yeah, the other
So
thing that's, really surprised me, keep in mind, I didn't date for years, and I've never been on dating apps, and all my dating I did before was, like, through mutual friends, and then we're in fairly serious relationships. My last relationship was very long and very serious, and the last 6 months, I have gone on a lot of dates. Only one of them pay for my meals. I mean, a lot of them were only one time, never offered to pay, always were like, "Split the bill." One guy even thought I was gonna pay because I asked him out on the date. But, there's only been one guy
yeah,
that paid, and I actually
yeah.
deserve
I mean,
the
so
respect.
like for me, I was in a long-term relationship up until 2023. I was with somebody for, almost a decade. And before that, I was with my ex-husband for a decade. So I too, for the past 20 years of my life have been in a relationship, and
Mhm,
I've already been married. I already had a kid. I already had life after divorce.
mhm.
What else is there, right? Like I'm an empty nester at this point. Um I don't, and it's like, well, let me take you out. Let's have fun. I have fun every day. I literally have fun every fucking day. Like, I don't need a man to waste my time and be like, "Let's have fun." Like, no. And as far as like, I wish a man would look at me to pay for something. I'll knock the hell out of them. So, anyways, that hasn't been my case, thankfully. Because I do meet a lot of men because I go to events and churches and am in the nightlife, as you know, quite frequently. But, I don't know, they just pay for it. I don't even there's no expectation for them to, it just
I
happens that
I
way.
don't know what's wrong with
Um
me then, because I have gone on a lot of dates and yeah, there's only one. And I'm a hopeless romantic, like, let's be real. Like, I wanna believe that chivalry isn't dead, and it's like, I wanna feel like, a little princess where I have a guy open up my car door and open up all the doors for me, that always pays, that, treats me the way I should be treated, and, believe me, I'm getting to a better point now, but for a long time, when I first started dating on these dating apps, I let these guys treat me like shit.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, like, if I do go somewhere with the opposite sex, and they don't automatically open the door for me, I will stand there.
Yeah,
I'll
I
wait.
can see that with you.
Yeah.
I'm too
Like
That's my problem.
like, I don't know what car you think. Yeah, I don't know what car you thinking you getting into, motherfucker, but you better come back over here and open this door.
Yeah,
You better bring your little stupid ass back over here and open this door.
that's yeah.
You know, what's some red flags that you've been able to spot early on?
I already mentioned it. This one became a trend pretty fast, and I would was it unmatch from these fuckers so fast. Flirting heavily right off the bat, and then the phrase, "Does your pup want a dog, dad?" If they
Uh,
said that, I
yeah,
immediately would just boom.
yeah,
I almost wanted to report them. I was
yeah.
like, "That's just too far." That was
So
my red
so
flag.
there okay, so for me, I attract professional athletes, okay? Like, for whatever, I am their target.
Uh-huh.
And so for me, like, my Insta is filled with blue check athletes. And, like, it's annoying for me because, like, my ex-husband was an athlete, like, I have a type,
Oh, me
and
too.
so yeah, and so for whatever reason, it's always like the same sort of, man. But anyways, my red flag is when they're traveling through Seattle and they're like, "Hey, do you want to come visit my hotel?" And I'm like, "Oh, where are you? XYZ?" Because I already know that they're either trying out for like the Seahawks or whatever. And I'm like, "I already know where you're at. I already know why you're here." And I'm like, "No, I'm not
Mhm.
interested in going to where you're at?"
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, uh, yeah, for me, the red flag is, "Oh, I'm traveling through the city and I'm staying here." When they tell me exactly where they're staying, I already know, like, "Oh, okay, like you are doing a training camp." And again, these are like young 30s, late 25 and
Ooh,
up. And I'm like, bro,
send it my way.
no, thank you. Girl, happily. Girl, you know what? I will forward you the
Oh my god.
message. Like, if you girl,
Maybe some of them
girl,
would
if
be
you
my
want an
type.
athlete, I
I
could we
mean,
could
I very much do have a
girl,
type.
I get yeah, well, athletes have me as their type because I swear to gosh, like it's
Uh,
anyways, so what's a date or moment that reminded you of your own growth?
oh gosh. Um, this one's a bit bittersweet. So that the one guy, the last 6 months that did pay for my food and, always opened the car doors and was just a little prince, was this. date that showed my own strength. So I've been struggling with some heart conditions the last 6 months, and a few months back, or I guess 2 months back, I was still in the peak of it, and I couldn't do a lot of excessive exercise. But I started talking to this guy that literally was like my prince. And we were up on Deception Pass and we went for a hike up Rosario Peak. Backstory behind that Deception Pass, it's this beautiful lookout to the islands, Orcas Islands, and the sunset's absolutely stunning. But it's not a long hike, but
I mean, everything is a teachable moment, teachable lesson, and you take from that and you carry it forward. And I'm glad that there wasn't like a tragic moment to the story, right, with your heart and things like that, because I was like, oh God, but you just never, you just never know. And so, let's talk about friendship loss and rebuilding from that. So, not every breakup is romantic, right? Sometimes losing a friend hurts more. And I have lost friends that I've gained out here in Seattle just simply because I outgrew them, and one thing that irks me the most is knowing somebody for an extended period of time and them staying where I met them emotionally, mentally. And it's like, I am not her anymore. Like, I have evolved like 75 bazillion times since, I graduated from high school, you know? And it's just so annoying, whenever you have people from your past that you carry forward and they're just stuck in this space. Have you lost a meaningful friendship, and how did it impact you if you did? That happens. Yeah, yeah. People don't. Mm. Yeah, I mean, how do you cope with that grief, with that friendship ending? Mhm. Absolutely. And so, what's something that you wish people understood about outgrowing friends, even if it had to tie in kind of like you two were in two separate spaces with your belief systems, right? Absolutely. 100%. Mirror it, maybe? Mirror it. Like mirror. Yep. Yeah, for sure. No, 100%. And you need to erase them out of your ether, because don't nobody want that shit around. Like me, I can read energy, And like if I go up in a place and somebody's funky, I'm like, mm girl. And I will move around like so quick. Like I would rather sit by myself than sit at a table full of people on some bullshit, you know? And so, have you found peace or even new friendships on the other side of this friendship loss? Good. Yeah. And so what's your advice for navigating like mutual circles after a fallout? So you have all of these four main buckets of social circles, right? And so if you were to fall out with somebody in one of these social circles, how would you navigate that? Right. Yeah. 100%. Like, people can be so ugly for no reason, and you have to be mindful of sharing space with that type of person because that type of person is awful. And I have been very fortunate that I have gained a lot of grace and discernment, and I'm able to immediately pick up on, situations or scenarios that are just not going to work for me. But healing isn't linear, and no one talks about how quiet it gets when you're sober and you're doing the work. So let's go there. How do you check in with yourself mentally and emotionally? Congratulations. You got a village, girl. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's my career field. Yeah, good. Perfect. Oh, yeah. And, yeah. Oh, we joked about that over the weekend, right? When we were talking about that, I was like, that's my favorite thing is silence. Yeah. I I can sit in silence. I can share it. Like, yeah, for me, I promise you, I could sit there and not talk or think, and it's just fine. Um, so what inspired or pushed you I know it is torture. It's torture for a lot of people, and people are like, "Bro, like, what is going on with you?" But yeah, what inspired you or pushed you to get sober? Whoa. Congratulations. Good. No, I mean, I remember you kinda sharing, that when I first, met you, and I mean, that's courageous. It's courageous putting down, the vice that kind of, you leaned on for so long and putting all of that into something that gave you recognition, right? And I mean, being able to be voted in and seen for a really cool thing. Dog training is huge. It's so important. I'm not a dog person, but I'm like, I feel like they all need to be trained. Yeah. Good. So, what do you think has been the hardest part of sobriety, and what's been the most beautiful? Yeah, 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 sure. Yeah. No, seriously. Exactly. Yeah. So, how do you protect Yeah. So, how do you protect your peace in a city where drinking culture is big? Yeah. Yeah. Live your life, just be respectful, you know? Yeah. Mm-mm. That's that's disgusting behavior. Yeah, disgusting. Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, I remember, like yeah, because I remember too when we were at Kelly Rose's show, and I was like, "Oh, do you want me to get you a drink?" And you were like, "Oh, no, I'm sober." I was like, "Oh, my bad, dude," and then I moved on, you know? Like, you know? Yeah. Yeah. No. Oh, that's what it was. I was inviting you. Remember, I had a table that following weekend at the same place, and I was like, "Oh, do you want to come?" And I it had that's what it was. It was yeah, I had invited you, and I was going out as my thing, but like not the whole bar situation with the table and stuff like that. And I was like, "Well, we'll be here if you want to just come kick it. You know, no obligation to do anything else." What advice would you give someone starting their mental health or sobriety journey? Okay. That's good. I mean, get support wherever you can, period. Yeah, recommend it. I mean, I think that people need to find their safe space wherever that is. And I love that you kind of found your community, even though you guys are in different generations, basically. But to see that they have able to stay the course. Yeah. Aw. But that's still cute because it's like, you're belonging, you know? Whenever you get the pet names in there, that's yeah, so Girl, seriously. I mean, you find your tribe no matter whoever, wherever, and it just happens. And it doesn't have to be based off of like interest. I mean, here we are, 5 years and 9 months, you said later, right? And you're completely sober and you're thriving and you've had an opportunity to make waves and rebuild. So, that's very telling. And the level of commitment that you have to what you're doing, Jess, is amazing. You have established so many safe boundaries. Yeah, good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Amen. No, absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely. So I love that it stuck with you and traveled with you through many versions of yourself. And now here you are, and you are able to carry that forward and share it with others. All right, friend, that's a wrap on today's episode. So if something is hitting home, share it with someone who needs it or tag me on solo underscore in Seattle. And just remember, solo doesn't mean lonely, it means free, grounded, and on your own damn timeline. So whether you're sipping mocktails, healing through heartbreak, or showing up for yourself again and again, I see you. Keep it real, keep it tender, and don't forget, Seattle might freeze, but your heart doesn't have to. So is there anything you wanna add to that, Jess? Do you wanna drop any of your handles? Do you wanna do anything as far as content promo? Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me and sharing your story and getting super vulnerable with me, and just being able to be just open and honest about it all. Well, good having you on.